Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed colleagues, thank you very much for offering a platform for Airbus. Dear organizers, every single one of you, thank you very much for this great organization. Before I start, I would like to congratulate Hungary and Mr. Krasznahorka for receiving the Nobel Literature Prize. It might seem a bit odd to start, yes. It might indeed seem a bit odd to start a keynote on defense and space with this kind of statement, but if I quote or paraphrase another Nobel Literature Prize, if we're not doing this for the culture and the arts, if we're not fighting for that, then what for? So, back to business. This is Airbus's purpose. We pioneer sustainable aerospace for a safe and united world. This is what we strive for. We lead the journey to clean aerospace. Many of you have heard about sustainable aviation fuels, whether in aircraft, but also in helicopters. We help our customers, like Hungary, to defend their values, and we connect people to unite them. So granted, it's a bit of a challenge today, and it's a secret to none that the world is changing. Armed conflicts are at our borders, and in Hungary, you probably know this even more than where I come from. Previous alliances, which we once thought would last forever, are shifting, and European nations are left to take matters in their own hands. But Airbus's purpose still stands, and today countries in Europe need to consider how to create a strong deterrence force. And the best way is to cooperate, to maximize the existing capacities, to boost the efficiencies through interoperability, and reach strategic autonomy that relies on an ecosystem of European countries and European industries. Over the past decade, European defense has increasingly relied on foreign arms. And since post-COVID, European allies increased defense imports by 155%, which led to over 75% of European arms being sourced outside of Europe. Now, Hungary is a bit different. For example, 80% of the in-service fleet is being European sourced. And in deploying the 2026 Defense and Military Development Program, Hungary anticipated early on the necessity to reach the strategic autonomy. It has planned to rearm way before it was a thing at the EU level, relying on European suppliers and bringing manufacturing capabilities in the country where possible, as we've actually already seen quite a bit. So this is how Airbus became Hungarian. In Budapest, you'll find my great colleague András Fáj, who's sitting second row right there, and heading the Secure Land Communications. Everybody knows András, so I don't need to introduce him. He's heading the Secure Land Communications office. And in another neighborhood of Budapest, we have also installed our Geo and Optical Satellite Services entity, filled with very talented people that work on satellite imagery and mapping. Finally, Airbus and N7 broke ground of our precision manufacturing plant of helicopters in Gyula in 2022. So back to strategic autonomy. What is at stake here? European defense is fragmented. In the US, the defense industry base benefits from a massive single customer, the Pentagon, and continental scale production. In Europe, we have numerous industries and national champions all competing in the same segments to reach 30-something national markets. So when France, Germany, Italy all develop their own separate small volume missiles, helicopter or tank programs, the individual cost remains prohibitively high. As such, economies of scales are lost for European companies and, in the end, for European countries. In the United States, on the contrary, if you're procuring aircraft or missiles in batches of thousands, this significantly lowers the units per cost. There are other matters that would require more attention, such as the differences in military standards, in certification processes, in requirements across every single country in Europe, and the risks to interoperability this creates with the diversity of those equipments. I will, however, leave that to other discussions today. I'm pretty sure it will be tackled in the panels after me. So, achieving strategic autonomy is about relying on European industries, but not only. It's also about focusing on the right products. As you can see up here, European allies are doing pretty well when it comes to most major platforms. But if we compare to our friends in America, we are cruelly lacking strategic enablers, such as combat aircraft, transportation aircraft, drones of type 2 and 3, military helicopters, or some form of space coverage. Surprise, surprise, this is actually Airbus's playing field. So with this part being over, please allow me to take you a bit more into the insight of what my company does. You know this one? I'm not talking about the minister, I'm actually talking about the helicopter that's behind it. It's the H225M, and Hungary took delivery of its last couple helicopters over the summer, making it a complete batch and a complete fleet of military helicopters with the H225M and the H145M. The H225M is actually one of my favorites, probably because it's big. It has a wide range of capabilities, including dual use, and it has become the preferred platform of many European nations that purchased it for their military purposes, such as Germany, France, or the Netherlands. So this is a product Airbus is very proud of, and we're even more proud to see it flying in Hungary. But then what? Do you know these guys? Well, we've developed in Airbus a range of uncrewed systems for different types of missions, whether intelligence, surveillance, or reconnaissance, as you can see in the middle with the flex rotor, or more attack and special operations drones, such as the one on the left, which is the VSR 700. Now, in addition, there is a specificity of these unmanned systems, which is that they are also equipped with what we call H-team, which allows them to team up with helicopters with manned aircraft and be paired up so that you can expand the outreach of in-flight missions. Now, looking at our defense division, we also have quite a bit in stock. Our defense products and services, if I need to remind it, help countries protect citizens, the values, and the vital infrastructures of those countries. In air power, our fighter jets and military transport aircraft allow nations to safeguard their airspace, but also respond to natural disasters. Hungary knows the 330 MRTT, which is up there, because it accesses and owns it somewhat by being part of the NATO multinational fleet. But we also have C-295 as transportation aircraft and the A400M, which, by the way, can fit in a complete H225M. You can also see up here our latest Type 2 drone, the high-end tactical SEERTAP, which was here on display during the Paris Air Show. We have quite many options, and those who are there have seen it, but this one in particular has 20 hours of autonomy and provides superior tactical surveillance capacities by integrating 2 payloads, including a multi-mission radar. Now, with our space systems entity, which is in the middle, Airbus enables independent, and I insist, independent access to space, from traditional spacecraft and satellites to micro-launchers. And obviously, we're working hand-in-hand with ESA around our projects. So we make, we launch, we support, and we operate satellites. We also provide secure communications to governments and organizations for public safety. And Hungary is actually a customer to our Tetra Communications for police. We are the leading provider of secured communication services and connectivity. We serve commercial and also governmental customers, ensuring that mission and business critical communications run safely, securely, and efficiently, from radio to broadband and mobile, on land, at sea, and in the air. Yeah, we're everywhere. Our technology allows our customers not just to protect citizens at large-scale events and save lives during a conflict, it can also prevent crises before they escalate and restore damaged ecosystems and post-conflict areas. And then we supply intelligence capabilities as well as terrestrial space and cybersecurity services. For example, Airbus operates the Pléiade constellation of satellites and thus offers Earth observation services. And you'll note that every aerial picture you've seen of Budapest in this presentation has been taken from the NEO satellites. And for those who are interested, I actually have a more zoomed in view of the stadium. Oh, I'm missing one slide. I'll just have to tell you about it. This one is about Airbus Defense Future Generation. So finally, we are building the next generation of platform and systems to continue this legacy with cutting-edge technology such as the Eurodrone or the FCAS. So the FCAS is the Future Combat Air System. And it's the most ambitious development in European defense, and it's a key instrument to European autonomy and sovereignty and defense in space and security. And we're obviously doing this in partnership with a lot of excellent partners. The FCAS program will combine a new 6th-generation fighter serving as a command platform and operating with unmanned assets and remote carriers. It will be supported with 2 collaborative assets in the air, for example, the 330 MRTT, the Eurodrone, the Rafale, the Eurofighter, but also space and on-ground assets. And 3, all this will be communicated through an air combat cloud. So, we've walked through the necessity of enabling strategic autonomy for European nations by European entities with strategic enablers. So if I summarize, my CEO said it best, they always do. In an article of late 2024, he said, Guillaume Faury said, either we work together or we die. Airbus and Hungary have a past and a present of working together. Airbus is ready to contribute to tomorrow's defense landscape, to reinforce safety and to lessen dependencies in Europe, in Hungary. So I say, we do it, but we do it together. Köszönöm, and in case my English is not too good, merci beaucoup.